did hear that he did kiss you on the forehead, though.
In the audition. You know, it got him the part. I was like, I like your work. Except what almost didn't get him the part was the fact that he did this brilliant thing called War and Peace, well, that book you may have heard of, but he did an adaptation of it, which was...
It's really well written.
And they did an adaptation of it recently, which Callum was in. He came on screen, and I was sitting with my wife, Hannah, and both of us went, and Hannah went, oh my God, that guy looks like you, but he's just taller and darker and maybe more handsome. And I was like, so when Callum was auditioning for this, or David Yates said, I've got this lovely actor who's coming in to audition with you to test. And he literally walked through the door, and I was like, of course it's him.
So you guys obviously did a ton of green screen shooting, which I can't imagine, or not?
Maybe not as much as you think.
Okay, well, I was going to say, at least with the Fantastic Beasts, that's definitely a huge part of it. But when you're going back, obviously you're watching it, it's I'm sure, like, kind of crazy to see what the digital people are doing behind the scenes. But to actually be acting that out, like, what was the craziest or most difficult scene for both of you to shoot?
Trying to think of where we didn't have the support that we normally get. Like, actually, most of it is practical, and when we're dealing with the creatures, they're usually, you know, being performed, like the parts being performed by 1 to 3 amazing puppeteers.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we're not like staring at a spot on the wall and trying to imagine that it's like a really cool creature. We're just looking at 3 dudes acting like a really cool creature. But it really helps. Yeah. But I mean, I was wondering for you, Eddie.
This is how Katherine calls me on set. Literally, I'll be like walking in the center here, Eddie!
Yeah, it's that film, Hail Caesar, the Coen Brothers film, and Tilda Swinton's character is always chasing after George. No, it's not George Clooney's character.
No, it's Josh.
It's Josh Brolin's character, and his name's Eddie, and she's always like, Eddie. And so I cannot call him Eddie without like doing that voice. But when you were chasing the baby Nifflers, I imagine they weren't really there, so that probably was really hard.
That was actually a thing. That was such fun, that scene. But basically, what are you guys called? Hacky sacks? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know how they're...
We call them hacky sacks.
But there's this thing on YouTube, and I went down like a whole YouTube hole of like extraordinary talented people who like play hacky sack games of keeping it up in the air and like catching it on weird parts of their body, and it becomes like this weird dance. And I had that idea that catching the baby Nifflers should be like that, which is one of those lovely kind of whimsical ideas you have, but then the reality of it is kind of... So to begin with, I was like, maybe I could just have little green hacky sacks, and I spent about 4 days just seeing if I could catch one like in my pocket, and it was like, this isn't going to work. So I ended up having to mime it. It was quite funny to watch if you were there, because there was nothing in the air, and I just looked like I was doing some bonkers dance.
I'd actually love to see footage of that without the CGI in there, like just like he's taken the wrong.
It would have been humiliating, but not quite as humiliating as the Erumpent dance from the last movie.
See, that's what's cool about the Erumpent dance. It's like there's nowhere to go but less humiliating from there.
So true.
But I like that you set the bar high, and now you can try to aim to humiliate yourself more with every single film.
I feel like Joe does it though. Like, and
she's like, "What's he gonna do?
What's going to be humiliating bit now?"
You're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because now I'm wondering why you're in an ankle brace.
Oh.
Or is that a sad story?
No.
Should I not have brought that up?
I just wish it was a flippin' good story. So I've just finished a film
There
called
was a woman stuck on the tracks of a train, and it was coming to her. And Eddie, but then his foot got stuck, and but she lived.
Okay,
and,
great. All right, nice.
That's the
Better
frickin'
story then. Yeah.
No, well, you know how Tom Cruise did that thing where he like jumped over, did his own stunts. Yeah. So
Yes.
I was doing a film and I was trying to take from him. I was like, I'm going to do all my stunts. It was a film about 2 people in an air balloon. It was like the air balloon collapses. The whole thing is a disaster. And so I was doing all my own stunts. Wow. And one day I walked. Thanks.
Until this happened.
Wait for it.
I walked on a crash mat. So like the crash mat thing that's there to save you from
like at a
hurting
gym,
yourself,
like a little mat, like a
gymnastics mat.
2-inch mat.
Yeah, the thing, and I walked on the crash mat and I tripped. And I ruptured my tendons and I had to be wheeled off set. But hilariously,
Nice.
at that point, my character had frostbite and like blood all over his face. So I had all this makeup, prosthetics and all this stuff. And they took me into ER and they were like, what the fuck? The doctor's coming out going, emergency, emergency, emergency. And I was like, no, I've just got a sore foot.
Have weak ankles that rolled.
Was that here in the States?
Actually, it wasn't. I don't know why I just did a really shoddy American accent. It was, I'll tell you why, because to explain the story, we call it A&E, but you guys call it ER. So I had got into like the American.